Say gay and debonair you are. Just like the Western Western square you are. Yes, there you are. That grateful people should be full well aware we are. So lightning quick, let's all kick up a fuss. We cannot pray your trust is blind in us. So drink your fill and just unwind in us. A warmly wicked frame of mind in us. You'll find in us. We want you and not alone.
Where you been? You just want to keep singing. Well, I do. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Kensington Live. My name is Logan. You all know that. Thanks for being here. I've been watching our viewers go up. I try and leave you like 30 seconds to get on, and it's working, okay? We do Kensington Live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 7 p.m., and I'm so happy that you're here. This is our, hold on, let me do math, 20th show? What? There's the fireworks. All right. We've been doing this since all this quarantine, social distancing has been happening, and it's been a lot of fun. So you can be watching from two places. You can be either watching from Facebook through Kensington Theater Company or through YouTube through Kensington Theater Company, whichever one's fine. And there's a few things. One, this is live, and things happen, internet, all this stuff happens. We might. Oh yeah, we have Josie. Hopefully she can hear me. She can hear me. Okay, good. Woohoo! See, there's technical difficulties all the time. But if for some reason we disconnect with one, we disconnected with Facebook one time, and it stopped the stream. So if you're watching and the stream stops for some reason, go to the other one. So if you're on Facebook, go to YouTube. YouTube, go to Facebook. Okay, and then wherever you're watching from, you can comment in the comment section, and it will show up on my screen. I'll put them up on the screen. Actually, I have one from someone who's going to talk tonight. Cassandra, but so excited. And so I'll put your comments up on the screen. I want to know if you saw the show, what you remember, what were the funny parts that you remember, what did you like about the show, anything, or even a question that you might have for someone who's going to come on and talk to us. We want to hear your comments and your funny stories about coming to see the show. This show was so much fun, and I think that our audiences had a good time too. So put it in the comments, whatever you want, put it in the comments, okay? Last thing, also, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, give us a like on Facebook and a follow, Kensington Theater Company, or subscribe on YouTube, and then it will notify you when we go live for Kensington Live every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, because you don't know what day it is. No one knows what day it is, okay? You just get notified that it's Tuesday, and then you come on at 7 and see Kensington Live. That's how it works. I'm just trying to keep you up to date on your days. Okay, so give us a like, give us a follow, and you'll get updated. Also, if you have not been keeping up with all 19 now shows that we have done through Kensington Live, you can go back and watch all of them on either Facebook or on YouTube. Doesn't matter which one. It has been so much fun. We have had so many cast reunions like this one, talking to lots of fun people. We've had zip lining on the show. We've had some spit takes. We've raised like $2 million or something. It's incredible. Where did that $2 million go? I don't know. It was in comments money. Okay. Anyways, go back and watch it. And every Saturday night, we're doing Improvinators. So we've done 3 shows of Improvinators. You can go back and watch them. They are so funny. And this Saturday, our next show is going to be Improvinators. So come on back next Saturday, or this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. for Improvinators. It's so much fun. And this is why what we're trying to do. We're doing this so that we can bring some, laughter and some levity, some connection to some familiar faces. And this is what we're trying to do, right? Michelle. Oh, yeah, Michelle. We love Michelle. She's Drood. I love it. And Down says, thanks, Dal. He's going to come on. I've watched 14 out of the 19 Kensington live streams so far. The marathon of the summer. I love it. Thanks for the hype, you guys. You're just here to help us get going. Last thing is, because we're in crazy times, I say this every time. This is my challenge to all of you that are watching and to myself, is to just reach out to 3 people every day. It can be the same 3 people, or you can change it up and do different people. But just reach out to your friends, to your family. Make sure that they're doing okay. This is, affecting people in different ways, and we all cope differently. So reach out and make sure that they're doing okay. Yeah, I always say we're all in this together. Yeah, you can cue the music. We can dance. but really, we all are in this together. So will you just reach out to 3 people and make sure that they're okay? We'll all be better for it. Thanks, Adam. I totally agree, Dallin. Some people binge TV series. I binge Kensington live. Adam, I think, has watched every single one live. And so has maybe, I don't know, Grace. Grace always watches, and so does Michelle. So they all get gold medals for being here. This is my posse on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday nights. All right. Let's do this thing, shall we? Let's get into the Mystery of Edwin Drood. This show is so fun. And if you did not see the show, you're in for a treat and a surprise. And I don't know what else tonight because it's going to be a lot of fun. I've got like literally maybe 50 to 60 pictures that we can pop, like more than I have ever had. Okay. Why? I was in the show. What? This is a show that I can smell. What does that mean? I will tell you later. It has to do with something that I put on my face. Okay, all of these people are laughing. Oh my goodness, we're ready for this. Okay, so let's start with this group. This is just like FaceTime on a Saturday night for me with all these people. These are some of my best friends. Stupid camera. I hate. Okay. Let's bring on Dallin and Cassandra. I'm gonna laugh through this whole thing. Hi, Dallin. I can have you muted, Cassandra, by the way. Okay. So I'm gonna bring you on first because this. You probably know why. Because this idea was kind of our idea to create what became the Kensington Players, right? Do either of you, or I can talk about what Kensington Players, what it was and what it became for, and then how it got to Drood? Or do you want me to? Go.
Yeah, so Kensington Players, so after seeing kind of TBC, for those of you that don't know what TBC is, the teenage boot camp that Tony and Aaron were doing, us adults, I came into Kensington when I was 18, so I never really got to do that, and that wasn't around when I was 18. Yeah. So, but us adults have been talking, and we wanted some sort of intensive like camp, like these teenagers had, to really learn and to, hone our skills and that kind of stuff. And so we the 3 of us kind of figured, well, mostly Logan, but we helped to kind of like figure out this idea to have sort of a boot camp for us adults to do, not nearly as crazy as all day because all of us have jobs and stuff like that, but to really do something like that, and then also lead that up into doing a whole production together as well the following year. And so Drood was kind of that. We had the Kensington Players in the summer, and then in the winter, early spring, we had Drood.
Yeah. And it turned out really, really nicely.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was this thing where all of us were just that much too old to do TBC and didn't get the chance, and we were all jealous of those teenagers in TBC, right? And so we said we need to have something. And like Cassandra said, we did that review in the summer, which was a lot of fun, and then decided that we would do a show. We decided on Drood not because I don't think any of us had ever heard of the Mystery of Edwin.
No.
Right.
Tony brought it up.
Right.
I believe.
Tony said, "Well, why don't you do the Mystery of Edwin Drood?" And we're all like, "What is that?" Right. And looked it up, and of course we had other choices, but I think actually this turned out like perfect. Like we couldn't have chosen a better fitted show for this group of people. Right?
This group of people actually even got to choose the show because we gave them 3 options. For those that don't know, we gave them 3 options of different shows that we picked that we were okay either one doing, and we had been okayed with like the rights and everything. And then everybody in the players got to actually choose, and we just went with the one that got the most votes, and that was actually the Mystery of Edwin Drood. So that's how we ended up picking the show officially. So
yeah. So do either of you, or I can help, but let's give a short summary of Edwin Drood. I should have prepped you to know that I was going to ask you this, but who cares? cares? Anybody want to give it a jab of what a brief summary of what Mystery?
I would say put Tevan on and have him talk about it because he directed it, so he knows the story the best.
Well, we could do that too. I was going to bring on Tevan and talk about directing in a second, but let's do it. Hi, Tevan.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Hi, guys.
It's all good.
Hi, Tevan.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, so Tevan, you've been fed to the line. You get to.
Sorry, Tevan.
Thanks, Cassandra.
This is Tevan. Tevan was a Kensington player. He did the review with us, and then out of this group of adults, we got to pick a director, and so Tevan ended up directing. So, Tevan, tell us. It doesn't have to be super detailed, but a summary of what the Mystery of Edwin Drood is about.
Sure. So The Mystery of Edwin Drood was actually a novel that Charles Dickens was writing, but he died, unfortunately, before he was able to finish it. And it's a murder mystery. So based on what he wrote, we knew Edwin Drood died. We didn't know who did it. We didn't know a motive. We didn't have any sort of resolution. And people over many, many, many years have tried to solve it or come up with their own ideas of how it ends. And so somebody decided to make it a musical, but then make it a choose your own adventure so that the audience gets to vote and decide how the show ends each show. So we had like a million different endings.
Yeah. So it has this fun, it's a musical by all sense, but has this fun end where even the actors don't know what's going to happen and definitely kept most of us on our toes because you have to be ready to perform. I want to talk about this with everybody about what their feelings were on this choose your own ending. But yes, that's great. So Tevan, I'll keep Cassandra and Dallin on. So Tevan, talk to us about directing the show. What was any challenges or anything that was easy or came easily?
Well, the whole thing was a challenge. This is a very difficult piece of theater to put on. I think it's a challenge for.
It can be a little confusing.
Yeah, it can be confusing. The actors, like you said, you guys don't know how the show ends every single night. I know specifically Cassandra found out the ending live on stage in character every single night. So it's definitely very hard. I think one of the hardest things to do was actually casting it. I don't like to pre-cast shows, but having done the review, I kind of had an idea of what everyone was kind of bringing to the table, or so I thought. And so we went into the audition process and the casting process with kind of an idea, and everybody took me by surprise.
Yeah.
So I left the casting process like completely physically drained of all energy. Just the talent was mind-blowing.
Yeah, this is a pretty talented cast, pretty fun cast. That probably could have played many roles, because I will say this cast is quite talented. Well, let's bring some of them on. Let's get talking, shall we? We have Dallin and Cassandra, of course. Let's bring on our max amount of 6 people. So I'm going to bring on McKay. Dun, dun. He's like, I didn't know that was going on. And I'm going to bring on Josie, if she can hear. You can hear me now, Josie?
I can. You have a lovely voice.
Up till about when we started, Josie could not hear me. Everybody else could, and so I was having to say, Dallin, will you tell Josie to? All right,
Josie.
So.
Yeah.
There we go.
I know it's opposite. You gotta orient yourself. Okay, so let's do this. I want to know my signature question. We're gonna have other questions, but I want to know and then we'll bring on other people. What your favorite moment of the show or production? It does not have to be something that has to do with your character. It can be off stage or in rehearsals. What your favorite moment of being in the Mystery of Edwin Drood is? Let's start with Dallin, if you have it.
Okay. Well, I'm sure a lot of us have memories with Emily. So
Emily,
this is a different one than I think a lot of people have. But so Emily Schaefer, we were both like brother and sister in the show. Our characters were There she is.
Oh,
So she was so funny, and so we always shared the stage together. So our last names were Landless, and I think, let's see, I wrote it down one night in a note because I was laughing so hard. I think she said Helena Landlesses or something like that. And anyways, McKay and I just looked at each other on the stage. I can't remember if it was during the performance or not, but we were just trying so hard not to laugh because she said Landlesses. I don't know what it was, something about it. And then that whole off to the races part hit, and we were able to just like scream, laugh without anyone looking at us on the stage. Anyways, it was just so funny. Yeah, Emily is a hoot.
Well, I think that it becomes even funnier because, and I wish I texted her. I wish she would. She didn't answer, so I don't know where she is. But the funny thing about it is that she had an Indian accent, and so everything really accented like. Like, and then she had these crazy eyes that she would do.
Dylan's hair, I forgot.
So iconic.
Yeah,
So funny.
it is so iconic. Okay, good. Of course, Dallin was Neville Landless, and Dallin. While we're here, why don't we do it? What was your was there anything challenging about your character? It doesn't have to be about playing your character. It could be like a moment in the show that was challenging, or a change getting off stage to on stage, or something that was hard for your character.
I think the accent kind of came natural. Like that would normally be something that's kind of hard. But I think he's a very like angry character. So I think that was something that was like a little bit hard for me to like just try to find inspiration for the character, and also make him kind of likable, even though he's not. Like he's kind of a dirtbag in some ways. I don't know. It was a little bit of a harder character to portray at times, but it was also a lot of fun.
So I think almost all of the lead characters have this intro that they get because the show is a show within a show, right? We are playing characters that are performing a show. And so inside of the second show, the show we're putting on is they introduce the character. So every lead has this is this person playing Neville Landless, right? And then you had this look out to the audience, and I got this picture of Down. So good.
Oh, Dallas.
So good. I love it so much.
Yeah, I had to give the death stare a couple times. So it was a really fun role. Actually, thinking back, I feel like one of the hardest things was so at the beginning of the show, we had to like walk into the audience as our actor characters and tell them, hey, we're about to put on this show. It's called Edwin Drood. And that was a little bit hard for me sometimes to try and make conversation if there was like, yeah, that's the moment. So depending on like the people and the audience, it was like just trying to figure out how to have like a natural conversation. That could be sometimes hard. Like if they weren't very chatty, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna let you be and find someone else to talk to, right? It was anyways, it was always an adventure.
Were your eyebrows your actual eyebrows, or did you put makeup on them?
Were they dyed too?
Oh, we make up the crap out of those eyebrows.
And then Kristen says, let's have Dallin dye his hair again. Dallin shaved off his hair for the quarantine. I love it. Kristen says, I love this class.
Yeah, I'm ready for some hair.
I know. All right, let's move on. We'll come back. Cassandra, same question. Favorite moment.
Oh my gosh. I would probably have to say I have two. So I would say, just the cast in general, it was such a fun cast. We'd already done the review together, and so there were a couple new people that we had, but besides that, we were already all really close. Yeah. And so that was really fun, and we're all the same age too, so that was really cool. I think our age range at the time was 18 or 19 to 24, maybe 23, something like that. But so that was outside of like the show. But I think like the voting process, that part of the show was just so much fun. Just to kind of, we were on stage for like 15 minutes while this whole like voting process was going on, and like the show stopping and like everything, and like going through that whole thing and going like being out of character. Oh, so fun. But so that was really fun. And then my character just has a lot of differences in her, I guess, like between her actual like actor self and then like her character. So doing the scene with Megan, who played Rosa, in Act 2, where it gets really serious and she reveals that she was her nanny and like all this kind of stuff, was a really serious moment that was really, really hard for me. And me, Tevan, and Megan worked on it a lot, but that scene became one of my favorites to perform in the show. So
you mean this moment was not your favorite when you picked up me
Oh my.
as a drunk?
That was probably one of my favorite pictures, actually. Wages of Sin was really fun.
Yeah.
Really quite a blast. So I got to do a lot of fun stuff. And my costume, shout out to Bryan, who was our costumer, was so much. Bryan was also in the that was the other cool thing about this cast, is like our cast was also our production staff. So like the only person that wasn't actually in the show was Tevan. So like it was just crazy all the time. So yeah.
I love it. Anything about playing Puffer that was challenging?
I think just like I said, that scene it's very dark. I don't know, like not dark, it's just very deep. And she's talking about her life when she was younger and what led her. For those that don't know the story, Princess Puffer has an opium den. Opium is a drug, for those that don't know that. But she leads this like drug house, and she basically had gotten into kind of like some prostitution as well, and like all this kind of stuff when she was younger, and all this kind of stuff. And so like she's pretty funny during the rest of the show, but she has this really serious scene with Rosa and all that, and then having to go right into like revealing things on stage and not knowing who the murderer was. So I had like a different ending based on who was the detective each night. So like someone had to, so I'd have to like remember the different endings, and then sometimes I'd end up being the murderer, and I'd have someone yell at me before I'd go on stage, because I would literally turn, like the scene would end, we'd all like come off stage, and I think I would get off stage, turn around, and then if the stage manager yelled at me from down the hallway, I knew I was the murderer, and then I'd have to go back on stage. Yeah. So that whole like act was insane. So
yeah. And I remember one time, because this voting here, I'll put up another picture. You know, these 7 people, whoever was not, they were not voted as Dick Datchery, the detective. These ones could be voted as the murderer, and we would do this whole scene, and the audience gets to vote for who they think the murderer is, right? And immediately after that scene, Cassandra has to be on, so we all get to walk off stage and go, "Hey, who's the murderer?" Or well, they really didn't tell us the murderer, right? And I remember one time that someone was like, "Did Cassandra? Did she know?" And we're all like, "We don't know." And so we're all standing backstage, like, "How do we tell? Like, do we be like, you're the murderer?" Like, how
oh, I remember that day because I was the murderer, and everybody was on stage like looking at me like, "You're the murderer," like trying to stay in character. And I was like, "Yeah, you know, okay, thanks."
We're all like, "Is she getting our clues? Like, we're gonna be thrown off?" That they're like, "It's Princess Puffer," and then she'd be like, "No." Yeah,
it is crazy.
That is crazy.
That was another thing about the show that was just so fun, is it was just different every night.
Yeah. So kind of improv-y. Yeah. All right, Tevan, from watching the show, did you have a favorite moment of or in rehearsals or anything off stage?
I think my favorite thing is so much of the funniest moments in the show came from the cast improvising in rehearsals. And there is a scene where Tevan's character gets thrown in and has to all of a sudden be an actor in the show, where he's supposed to be the narrator. And he did this thing one rehearsal where he like made so much noise running around backstage, came in the wrong thing, and we all died laughing for like 5 minutes, and we kept it. and it was a fan favorite moment of the show every single night.
I'm going to take Josie out and bring Tevan on because I have my recording that I took of Tevan doing this. So should we watch it?
Yes,
please.
So Tevan, would you like to give your side of the story from what's happening? Do you remember?
I honestly, I don't remember a lot of this show. I'm just here for the video.
Oh,
But
A queen.
before you ask what my favorite bit was, I do remember this being one of my favorite parts of the entire show, just because it was so ridiculous, and I got to like book it and just hit everything on the way. I was just running down the stairs like poo, pow, punch things and.
Well, and Tevan's character was kind of the narrator of the show, right? Like Tevan said, and gets put in. Well, he's up top in the black box and runs down. And so this video is so funny. One, because you get to see Tevan come down the stairs and run past everybody, and people are dropping things to make noise, like he's crashing into a lot of stuff. And Cassandra yells, "Oh, my bloomers," or something, whatever. And then the best part of the thing is Megan, and I wish Megan was here, but she like turns to the wall and like clink, 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 just for like 2 seconds, like it's not going to help. It's not going to help the noise. It's so funny. All right, let's watch it.
Get him coming down the stairs.
As my dad added more your life.
Oh, watch it!
Good afternoon, Mayor Something. Good afternoon, Mr. Chris Sparkle. And no, these are my new charges from Ceylon. I was just taking them to meet. And up here he is now. Hello, Devil. May I introduce Edwin Drood? Sir?
Sorry, McKay. I forgot to take you off.
Random cutaway.
Oh, it's so good. I can only do 30 seconds, so I took you off so you could see it, but didn't take McKay, so I'm sorry. But I just love Megan's like click, click, click.
Soft little taps.
It's so good.
Emily is watching this, by the way.
Oh, hi, Emily.
Love you.
Emily, come on. Why are you
Comment somewhere. I just want to see you there.
Come on, Emily. We need to hear your voice, okay? All right. I love it. Yes, that moment is great. McKay, what was your favorite moment?
It's hard to choose.
Moments. You can choose moments.
I think if I had to choose one, Tevan and I had a number together called Both Sides of the Coin, and it was just like the fastest thing I've ever sung in my life. And like learning it was really hard, but it ended up having a really great payoff because the first time we performed it in front of the audience, they like went nuts. And like every night, like it just hit at a point in the show where like things started getting a little bit of a lull, and that kind of like picked it right back up. And it was always so funny. Like Tevan is the best stage partner ever. Like he just gives you so much. It was so hard because my character is really like angry and upset all the time, and I would just have to try not to laugh at him. But it was just so much fun performing that number every night and like getting the audience going. Like we always got the best reaction. And that's always awesome as an actor to get that reaction from people.
I would say I think that was the scene that all the people that weren't in that scene, all of us other actors were all backstage on the side in the wings watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a better place because you didn't have to dance it. Just kidding.
Hey, Kevin.
That dance was killer because it's fast, and then we speed it up even faster, and you have to do the same dance. I have some pictures to show how good of dancers we are. So this is the first one. Wow, look at us.
That hair, Logan.
I know
So good.
my parted hair. Also, this one makes me look athletic. What about, let's see, where did the other one go? I don't know where it went. I told you I have like so. Oh, here it is. Oh yeah, star moment. I love it. Is this the end of? Yeah.
Yes.
That's the end. Look at those faces of like we did it. But
Jenna's face in there is hilarious. So good.
Jenna was also our incredible choreographer, so massive shout out to Jenna. Her choreography was insane. It was so good.
She'd be here tonight, but she's taking care of her baby, newborn baby.
Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah. I love it. Okay, both sides of the coin. Yeah. All right, Tevan, favorite moment. I'll bring Joseph back on in a second, but while you're here.
Oh, I already told you.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Any other favorite moments?
Yeah, favorite moment other than just like the whole voting section, because that was like, I don't know, kind of my bit, but
you had so many lines. You have pages.
it's shocking. It was shocking that I said at the beginning of the process, I said, oh, by the way, I'm really bad at memorizing, so maybe not the chairman. And then Tevan goes, ah! And then I had 2 to 3 pages of just me. Nobody else, just me.
I don't even think there were stage directions. It was literally just dialogue.
Which was super fun once I got it down, and I don't think I ever messed it up. So that was a win on my part.
Once you got it, you were so good at it.
Nailed
The audience loved you.
So fun. Also terrifying. That's all.
Some people have some Tevan and
April.
Tev is forever my spirit animal. Okay.
Gosh.
Those are some nice pictures. Yeah, Tonya, I went through like all 1,000 and something of your pictures.
So,
Shout out. So good.
They were so great.
I love it. Tevan, I have some pictures of you being first let's watch this video. In going back and looking up all this stuff about Drood, I realized that Greatest Showman had just come out, and we were all like,
oh yeah.
We were like obsessed with Greatest Showman, right? And so Tevan's character both looked like the Greatest Showman, and so then Cassandra looked like the bearded lady. So we put Dick Van's beard on Cassandra. Just watch this video.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
This is me.
This is me.
The debauchery that occurred backstage at this show.
So good.
I've never seen such a rowdy cast before in my entire life.
Yeah.
Lots of quality content, quality videos, and inside jokes came from this show.
You're right.
Agreed.
Well, that's the thing is, almost all of us were close friends before.
Yeah.
Some came from like different shows that we had done, that Logan, Cassandra, and I had done. But for the most part, yeah, just like really, really close friends. So I feel like even though we were a little crazy, it stayed pretty professional. Like just
Oh, for sure, yeah.
so much talent. Yeah.
Also
Sorry.
coming from the review that summer where we spent like 8 hours a day for 2 weeks, something crazy. Like we had spent so much time putting that review together. We got to know each other really well.
Yeah.
We were close. We were comfortable. That was the best thing. Like we'd already acted in front of each other a lot. So, and in some of the most vulnerable ways, because that was like that was our objective for players. So yeah, it was all really fun. I miss all of you.
Here is a feature called Logan and Andrew bugging Tevan. First one. Also, I put on my Facebook, come see how I developed back problems. You make one character choice in one rehearsal, and then you have back problems. Is basically the moral of the story. Because look at me in all these pictures. Okay, so there's the first one. Oh yes, this is us walking away from Tevan. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Andrew, oh my gosh.
Look at him.
Again, there's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. No,
You and Andrew were such an iconic duo in this show. You guys were so good.
Well, thank you.
What was that scene that you like dropped that you and him would like drop the keys with McKay or something?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up because for me, my hardest moment, right? I played the deputy, which is this dumb character, and I should explain why I can smell this show. I should show a better picture of my face. Let's see, what picture? This is me and Bryan. Look, I don't really have. Well, you can kind of see the chocolate.
You split it all off by the end of the show.
You know, I really did. But in this show, I would take like cocoa, like basically chocolate milk powder, like the Nesquik, and just rub it on my face so I looked dirty. So when I look at these pictures, all I can smell is chocolate in my nose. But my hard moment was doing both sides of the coin, running off, and then literally having to run around and enter for the graveyard scene with McKay, where McKay would kill me, right? And and not being able to breathe at all because we had just danced and I had to go straight into this. But yeah, that was a fun scene with McKay. I wonder if I have another picture of us with McKay. I don't think I do. But yeah, that was just Andrew and I being funny. Like Andrew would go through McKay's legs, and then I'd be like, "Oh, do I go through?"
Remember the first time he went through my legs? It was during a performance. It was during the preview. So I had no idea. He had never done it before. Like he was supposed to like look for these keys, and the first time we ever put it in front of an audience, he decides to get on the ground and crawl through my legs, and I was like. I'm supposed to be very serious in that moment. I was like, what is he doing? He's like, my legs are falling through me. I was like, oh my gosh. But then he kept it after that, and it was funny.
Oh, so good.
On stage.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to take some of you off. Let's bring on some other people, and then we'll keep talking. So I'm going to take off Dallin and Cassandra because you've been on for a second. Okay, Bryan and
Hello.
Yeah. Hi, guys. You're the last of our people that are on, unless Emily gets on.
Emily.
I know. Come on. Okay, so same question to both of you. Favorite moment, off stage, on stage, whatever, from the show.
Okay, to me. Okay.
Yeah,
So one of my favorite moments ever was I played Reverend Chris Sparkle, and during one of the votings, it didn't happen very often, almost never happened. I think it may have only happened this once, but I got chosen as the lover with Cassandra, who is also Princess Puffer. So suddenly I'm like this reverend who's supposed to be really, really holy, right? And going out with the opium den lady, right? And I just remember, I don't even remember when it was, which performance, but like we went for it. And I just like remember like it was probably one of like the most freeing scenes or something like on a stage, because it was just like we were going crazy. I think I growled at one point. Like it was really one of my favorite things ever, because we were just so like in sync. Like Cassandra said before, we trusted each other so much because we'd been around each other so much that I knew that she could do whatever and I would take it, and I could do whatever and she would take it. It was great. It was so
That's
awesome.
so funny.
Yeah,
I find my favorite, the one that comes to my mind, that is probably my favorite.
I was going to bring up because Kristen says there are still a few more endings I would have liked to see.
Yes.
So the fun part about it, we've talked about. First, the audience gets to decide who's the detective, right? So then these 7 or I guess 8 people would have to know their song for if they're chosen as the detective. And then we choose someone as the murderer, and then we choose 2 people to fall in love at the end, and they don't know until the very end of the show. And I tell you, some of those were hard to keep in character for as we watched Devin blocked us. I think it was Devin, but blocked the two people that they were turned away from each other, and then the music started, and they turn and look at each other and start walking towards. Anyway, I have a few pictures of like people in that moment. But like, here's Dallin and Megan. And I have let's see, where is like I said, I have so many pictures. I have one of, maybe I don't know. Well, where is it? I know it's in here somewhere. Well, I'll find it and put it up of
So funny.
of Emily and Andrew being so awkward and funny. But yes, those endings were were so fun. I love it. Okay, Josie. Favorite moment. And of course, Josie played Edwin Drood, but who's a guy, but it's played by a woman. So tell us your favorite moment, and then tell us about playing a man.
Okay, favorite moment. Well, so Drood dies or is murdered at the end of Act 1, and so I don't go on at all during Act 2 until the very end. But I do have a little bit of a hissy fit as the actress that plays Edwin Drood. This is my favorite because I got to hold the dog. There was very end of rehearsals, and Tony came in and was like, "Would you like to hold the dog?" And watch you walk out, and I was like, "Yes, please." So that was a favorite part. And then all of rehearsals, because I would just sit there and both sides of the coin, because I wasn't in it, and I just would be like, "This looks awful, but it's so funny." I have so many videos from rehearsals. So yeah, I just loved all of it. It was so fun.
And, yeah. But I was going to say, and at the very beginning of Act 2, you got to play Dick Datchery.
Oh my goodness.
You got to play multiple men. So
Yeah.
how is it?
It's good. Edwin Drood was easier than Datchery for some reason, because I don't know. Edwin Drood, I was like, okay, probably the same age, or I am the same age as Edwin, and I just had an easier time getting into the character. Dick Datchery, I was like, ooh, how do I become a man? I put on the beard, and all of a sudden I'm like, I have no idea how I'm supposed to do any of this. Dick Datchery was the hardest for me for some reason, but yeah, Edwin was fine. It was just funny to me. The weirdest part of Edwin was at the very beginning when you were supposed to be the actors, coming in, and I had to sing to one of the people in the audience, but I was like, "Come sit on my lap," or "I'll sit on your," I can't remember my words, but I basically looked like a man and looked like Edwin, but I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna sit on your lap," singing as if I was a female, and I had to sing it to a man who was usually older than I was, and it just was weird. That was the weird part. But
I love this picture. You can see Josie as Edwin there.
Yeah.
Look at all those good faces. Wow. Wow. Hey, we have a surprise guest. I'm going to take Devin off for a second. Look who it is. She joined.
Hi, guys.
Hi,
Hey.
Hello.
I don't know why we don't need an explanation why you weren't going to join us, but we can't believe you wouldn't. Okay, so we're past it. Here we are.
Good.
Emily, tell us your favorite part about being Helena Landless.
Okay, I have a couple. One, the spray tan. Let me just tell you, I love being orange. Okay,
It looks so good.
it looks so good. Okay. And also, let's see. Okay, I don't know if you guys remember, but I will never forget when I forgot my line, and instead I was just like, "Let me try that again." So yeah, that was
yes.
And then I couldn't even remember my line. And then there was that one part that I'd always forget my line, and I just used gibberish. So yeah.
Up to the very last night on stage, we would laugh at it. We tried don't break character, don't break character. We never got used to it.
funny.
We were always laughing.
Oh my god, yes.
Here's Emily. And
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Does anybody have their favorite Emily story? Because I think everybody has one.
Emily,
I know what McKay and mine are. Our favorite moment is. It's a shared moment. Anybody else?
I'm kind of scared to hear that.
My moment, and I think McKay's is, and I think I have a picture of it here. I'm going to find it. Is at the very, very end when you would say, "You laughable man," and then you would turn around and look at McKay and I in the back, and you usually would make a face like at us or something, and McKay and I would have to be like, not laugh at Emily making a stupid face that for some reason just made us laugh.
I
so
have
funny.
another funny one, but like it didn't happen to me, but these people aren't here, so I'll tell it for them. So Emily was so funny in this scene that none of us could keep a straight face. Like we're supposed to be in character, but we just could not. And so luckily I could turn upstage to Logan and just laugh so the audience couldn't see my face. It was bad. But there was one night in particular that it just like went completely off the rails. Everyone was laughing. And Katie was laughing into Zach's shoulders. Do you remember this? And like she acted like she was crying, but she was actually laughing. And later in the scene, there's supposed to be a revelation that happens, and Rosa, played by Megan, back there in the back, she's supposed to faint back into Zach's arm, and Zach catches her. Well, Zach was so preoccupied. The phone is in my house. Zach was so preoccupied with what was going on, everyone laughing in his shoulders, that when I'm sorry about the phone.
Answer it live.
Yeah, I'm kind of distracted. Can you?
So when Megan went to go faint, Zach was so preoccupied that she fainted into no one and ended up.
I remember that.
And we all lost it. Like,
Are
it
you
was.
serious? Oh,
Did you not know that happened?
I don't think I remember that.
Funny.
I don't
know that.
People realize because they were like acting or looking forward, but those of us who weren't doing anything, all of a sudden Megan just goes to faint backwards, and someone catching her, she just goes straight down on the stage.
I remember looking back and I'm like, why is she on the floor? Like I didn't see the moment, but I just didn't know what happened.
I think you can see in this picture all of us kind of trying to keep it.
Tevin. Oh my gosh, look at Tevin's face.
Tevan and Catherine are trying to.
What a mess.
Okay, Dallin's face is just so serious. Look at that picture. He's like,
Dallin's like,
no.
Oh, hold on. Dallin says he wants to come in. Dallin?
Yeah, no, I just have to say, so I was like up at the front of the stage. You could see I had to be so serious, but everybody behind me was laughing. So I was just so glad that I never had to make eye contact with them during that scene. The context to the scene was that I was arrested for murdering Edwin Drood, even though they didn't have the body or something like that. So, you know, Emily and I were siblings, and she's really protective of me. So she just unleashes, "Before you utter another word, you laughable man." She's just lashing out at everybody for blaming Neville for being the murderer. Anyways, it was so funny, and I was so glad that I didn't have to face everybody and watch and be part of that. I just gotta put my hands behind my back and like stare into the audience and try.
I think the also hardest part was like having an Indian accent and trying not to laugh while having an Indian accent. Like even like singing with it, you're like, I'm sorry.
Okay, but one time, Emily, your accent went away, and then you're like, oh, in this not. What did you say? In this with an accent without a location was the gist of it.
Yeah.
I don't know where my accent was.
Untraceable accent. My practically untraceable accent.
We're all just like, well, she's not Indian anymore.
So funny.
Oh my! This is too much fun. I love it.
I love it.
Should we? Oh well, we do have. Let's bring her on. Hold
You
on.
can take me off.
Okay, bye.
Sounds like
Find out it's Jenna.
Jenna. Hey, you baby mama.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hi, Jenna. So we've been talking, and we already mentioned your choreography, but you can tell us how was it choreographing all of the big, huge dance numbers in this show.
Choreographing the big, huge dance numbers. It was fun, but the music's really weird. So it was really
Crazy.
hard to make it like fun choreography while it being entertaining to look at and have it make sense. So it was also kind of hard to be in the show and be the choreographer at the same time.
Yeah.
Don't recommend. Don't recommend that, but
Don't do that. That's
but it was so fun, and my favorite part was probably the "Off to the Races." That dance.
I love that
song
dance.
was just my favorite. It was
My
so
wig
fun.
would always fall off, and it was my favorite part.
When your wig would fall off?
There was one time that it was the end, we did a jump or something, and my wig just came off, and I was bald cap and everything.
And I just felt
No
so
way.
She had a lot of hair in that wig. It was
Yes.
Are you serious? Was this in rehearsals?
No, I think it was
it was a show.
it was a show.
Oh,
Remember,
you were
I
in your
ran
wig.
off, and I was holding it.
I didn't know that happened.
Well,
That is so funny.
here's a montage of us doing some poses that are group poses.
I'm a woman in this one.
They look so good.
Off to the races. There's us at
Thanks.
the end of Off to the Races.
We're all here for
Love
pictures.
it.
Let's see what else.
Pictures.
Well, we already saw that one. What?
McKay, are you okay in this pig?
I wasn't okay that
I
whole
I
number.
destroyed you guys. I'm so sorry, but no.
Yeah, the end of both sides of the coin. What else? Let's see. I think we already saw this. Yeah, that's the end of Off to the Races. Here we go. That's the very, very end of Off to the Races.
Oh my goodness.
These
So
are
good.
all of the ensemble people at the beginning of There You Are, right? Here we are.
Look at stage pictures.
And I love this one because when I saw it at the first time, I thought, did I fall down? And then I
Oh,
realized
that's
that
your mountain climbing.
my choreography was to do these little, I don't know what you call them, little leg.
Mountain climbers.
I love them.
Oh, what chaos.
As much organized chaos as I could possibly muster during that number.
I love when the pictures are taken and all of us have expressions on our face. And it's just the funniest expressions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's so good.
I love it.
The best.
Here's a picture of all the girls. Oh,
Look at my
I was just
gosh.
about to say, I was like, I don't see me at all.
This does remind me of my favorite Emily moment. Was when we were in the dressing room and Cassandra was taking a Snapchat or something, and she
What's
goes,
in the bag?
"I have the coats in my bag."
I have goats in my bag. What? What did you say?
Do we ever really know what she says? Let's be honest.
I have
Oh my
goats
gosh,
in
it
my
was
bag.
so funny.
I still want goats. It's okay.
Why did you say that you have goats in your bag?
I think I have a weird. Well, now I have a weird obsession with llamas. But then I had obsessions
Hold
with
up.
goats.
With goats.
Goats are cute.
Yes.
That's serious. And
You-
llamas are cute. Love
Yeah.
llamas forever. So
I have goats in
Emily,
my
we're
bag.
practically the same
Yeah.
person.
Oh my goodness. Hey y'all, let's break up the conversation for just a second and have someone sing. I asked Cassandra to sing one of our favorites.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave some of you on to sing with her.
Woo!
Take it away, Cassandra.
Oh Lord above. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Don't mind me. Okay.
We'll stall. So in Edwin.
Sorry, I was not prepared. Just kidding.
Wait. We should all kind of try a high five thing. So I'm gonna go this way, and you high five me. Nope, the other hand. Other hand. There. Ready?
Shoot.
High five.
Should I just do both? McKay.
And McKay, you do a high five.
What is happening? Okay. Can you guys hear that?
A little.
Sure.
Is that loud enough? No?
I can't hear anything. I don't think.
Great. I'm gonna need a speaker, so let's tell some funny stories. Bye.
So,
Well, okay, fine. Go get it, Cassandra, and I'll watch when you come back. Okay. What?
I gotta think of funny stories.
I
A funny
can think
story
of one.
about
So
Cassandra.
many. Oh,
Okay, tell it.
Choreographing the oh man, I don't even remember what it's called. The train scene when they're like,
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
don't quit while you're ahead.
yes, and she's doing
I don't-
no, not don't quit while you're ahead.
it has the same tune as "Don't Quit While You're Ahead," da, 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 but I don't remember what it's called.
Yes, but there's that giant step on the stage, right?
Yeah.
And I'm having them do the back steps up and down. And it was just funny to me because she would always look at me in terror. Cassandra would, as she was doing the back steps during
She's
rehearsal.
like, I hate you.
She didn't know. And I'm like, you got it. I believe in you.
It's settling up the score. That's
Settling
it.
up.
So, you know.
That's the one.
I was going to show this picture eventually, but I love this old timey picture. Yeah.
Oh, I look so
I like you, Logan.
I know.
You look
back
so
prob-
white. Is that what you
Back
said?
problem.
so old.
Oh, I thought you said white. And I was like, well, it's black and white.
That too, I was a little white in that
I
one.
just remember this show, like, I don't know, Victorian clothes
That's
are not
a-
light. It was just, I was always hot. It was
Right.
so hot
It is so warm.
in that show.
Well, you didn't sweat chocolate, so.
That's true. I did not sweat chocolate.
Oh, man.
Okay, Cassandra, are you ready? 1 second, she says. Oh my goodness. Okay, we'll stall some more. How about this? I have a montage of pictures of funny faces of McKay. Would you like to see it?
Oh no!
That's the first one.
Oh,
Oh, these are bad.
my gosh.
How about this one?
Your character was like
My
mad
character is
all
off
the
the
time.
rails.
That was really good.
I only did that, McKay, because I went through like literally 1,000 pictures, and I was like, there's so many good like pictures of you because you emote a lot through your face, which is so good. But
110%.
Yes.
that one moment where you're like,
Dude, seriously. Your song is one of my favorites to this day.
Which
so
one?
good. Yeah,
All of them.
your main one?
what was the first one?
Oh my gosh, I can see it, but I don't even know the title.
I can see it.
Oh,
It's
no.
red.
What is that?
I have
called?
the
We'll come back. All right, Cassandra, you ready?
Oh,
Maybe.
man could go quite mad. Sorry.
Okay. Y'all just need to tell me before I start if the levels are okay.
Okay.
Like if we're all good. Okay.
I'm gonna mute everybody, but feel free.
Is that way too loud?
A little bit.
Is that too quiet?
Yes.
3. Let's try again.
Turn it up a little.
Time don't pay. That's what I tells them. If it did, would I be here? Mixing pipes. What then I sells them for a pint of rotten beer. Throats you cut to pocket the rubbins. Then you sluts to cop some sleep. Bash your face for bleeding tuppence. Pure disgrace to work so cheap. So I say, don't be a sinner for the price of London gin. You can't pay for 1 square dinner with the wages of sin. Oh, somebody so pull up who would buy this sack of skin. On the whole, there ain't much profit in the wages of sin. In the wages of sin. In the wages of sin. I've seen girls from gutter families trap rich men with flattery ways, and they cook past the John, please, over nuptial breakfast trays. Over there in bed 11 sleeps a bleeding hypocrite. Okay. Spends his days eyes cast to heaven, spends most nights amongst that. That's why I say, don't take out the measures, do things right and dig right in. In this world, there's greater treasures than the wages of sin. I get threats, but seldom offers. If I did, I'd pack it in. You can't fill too many coffers with the wages of sin. Give me help here. In the wages of sin. You can do better than that.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Bravo. I love that the in between was so long that we were like, is she done?
I know.
The first time I listened to it, I was like, I started singing and then I did it again and I was like, fine. What was the point in that?
It was beautiful. That was great.
I love it.
You're welcome.
Dallin says, fun fact, the composer of the show is the same guy who wrote the Pina Colada song. Yeah. Rupert.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that.
La pina coladas.
April says, I hear real-time Cassandra and Cassandra on my computer at the same time.
That's funny.
Sorry, April. People want me to tell the flap doodle story. When McKay kills me and then I'm not actually dead and I push him off and I punch him in the face, I don't even remember what I was supposed to say in there, but we were like, we should put actual.
Hold up.
I will take you off.
Awesome.
I forgot my Bluetooth was still on. My bad.
Anyway, we decided that we would put in some actual like time period appropriate like what are they? I don't know if they weren't swear words necessarily. I don't know, sayings that you would say to someone. And so I tried flap doodle. I don't remember what was my line.
You flap doodle?
You flap doodle or something. And it just stuck. And then I would just call McKay a flap doodle every night. And, it's just a funny word enough that the audience thought it was hilarious. It was hilarious. Okay, good. Down's laughing. Down. You're muted. Oh, now you're not.
Yep, I was laughing.
Okay, good. I'm so glad.
Yep.
Okay, so let's play Kensington question, shall we?
Oh.
Do you want to play Kensington question? Yes, you want. Yeah. Okay.
I did not realize people could see you dancing. All right, well, that's great.
Oh, well, just for a second. Stupid microphone camera. Okay, so this is how it goes. I'm going to put some questions up on the screen, and we get to decide as a cast who in the cast fits these questions, okay? If you are off screen, Cassandra, Dallin, and Devin, and you have an answer, just put your hand in front of the camera, and I'll switch you in for someone, okay? This is a lot of fun. All right, first question. Most likely to miss an entry. Who do you think? Anybody?
here?
Emily.
Andrew.
Yes. Yes. It was always right after both sides of the coin, right before the graveyard scene that we were afraid that he would not come on. Okay, good. Anybody else? Oh, Cassandra. I'm going to take someone off. Yes, it's roulette.
I was gonna say Andrew. I'm pretty sure he actually missed an entrance. Either it was during a show or during a preview. But like that last scene that we come on for, like right after the funny scene with Helena and all that jazz, where at the end it's like these are the people, and one of them is gonna be the murderer. Blah blah blah. Before we go to intermission, and there's that lineup that we have, and I'm pretty sure Andrew one time just didn't come out because we were the only people that weren't like on stage during that whole thing. So like he stands next to me, and so I like it was just like super off. Like gets to his line, and I was like, and we'll switch to my line now because Andrew did not come out.
That's so funny.
The term "Where's Andrew" became a point term. Yeah.
Yeah. He one time I think during rehearsal he was missing for like an hour because he fell asleep somewhere.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Love Andrew.
Love Andrew.
All right.
So-
Most likely to forget a line.
Emily.
Or
Okay.
most likely to talk gibberish too.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, the hardest part is like you'd start reading the line and they're like, okay, I gotta add the Indian accent in it. And then you're like, well, that made no sense. So, all right.
I feel like sometimes you would say your lines and they would be important lines and people would not understand them in the audience. And I would go, yep, that went right over their head.
I feel like
They're
that
gonna be
happens a
confused
lot
in
though.
about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a really good show, but I mean, it can get confusing pretty quickly too. So
All right, good. Most likely forget a line. All right. Most likely to know their lines. Anybody that
Tevan.
you would always rely on? Oh, look at this. Look at this little dance. He's like,
Hi everyone, it's me. I didn't forget my lines the entire run of that show. It's your topic.
that's really
Which is
good.
saying something for how many lines you had.
technically, I did not either, but I had like maybe 1% of the lines that Tevan had.
It's about you, Logan. Let me have my moment, Logan.
Logan.
Anyway, so I'll be taking over from now on.
All right, good. Most likely to know their lines is it's a given title to Tevan by himself. All right. Most likely to injure themselves. Anybody injure themselves during the show? I mean, my back, so maybe it's me. I don't know.
You freaking nerd.
I don't think anyone injured themselves. It's just really good.
Oh, Cassandra, okay.
Is that a fire truck?
Who's going to jail?
Guys, I live
Speaking
downtown.
of injury.
Goodbye,
Oh my
Tevan.
gosh.
If you notice, there was one of the pictures you put up that was from a preview. But if you notice, and I have my leg, I'm pulling up my skirt, you'll notice I had an ankle brace on, and I had to wear it like every show because those shoes were really hard on my feet, and yeah, so me. But it wasn't that
Me.
bad.
Was it that one?
No, it's the other one you showed where like at the end of there you are.
Oh.
There you are.
This one? No.
You showed it earlier.
What? No. This one? No.
No, I'm not in that one.
This one? Night gets here. Maybe it's not worth it. This one? No.
That one was funny of you,
I'm like
Logan.
at the front of the stage. I don't know, or maybe it's the end of another song. I don't know. Maybe you'll find it later.
I'm just gonna keep popping them up randomly. Okay. You're most likely to injure yourself. Okay, good. Anybody else have any other memories?
No, I think everybody
No,
else.
not really.
Yeah. Okay, wait. We're not on that. We're on this one. Okay. Most likely to be late. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Andrew.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Do you remember the one time in rehearsal when he was tossing the hat to Zach? He couldn't toss it to Zach. I have so many videos on my Snapchat. I forgot to send them to you, but I have him like Zach perched over Andrew, like waiting for the hat, and Andrew was like, "Oh, you need
Send
this
them
man?"
all right now.
So good.
I love it. Okay, let's do another one. Most likely to upstage on accident. So they're so good that they're upstaging. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Emily.
Stop it. Stop.
I love it. Down's just laughing to himself. I love it. Okay, good.
That's all I've done.
Good. Most likely to break character on stage. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Everyone except
Everyone on stage with Emily.
Yeah, that's true. Even I would break character sometimes.
You're a hoot, dude. You're so funny.
Stop.
On and off stage.
I love it.
That night, I know you mentioned this, Emily, but that night that it was closing night where like you're supposed to step forward and say your line for like the murderer, and you got forward and you went, I'm gonna try that again. And step back and walk like
We all just about lost it. Like
I'm pretty
Most
good at not
classy
breaking on
missile.
stage, but like that broke me. So
That was so funny.
Yeah.
So
All right. Who was the cast clown?
Emily?
There's a lot in different ways.
Yeah, I feel
All
like
of us are cast clowns.
I feel like I was always laughing with Katie. I feel like Katie, as soon as
Yeah.
Katie started to
So
laugh,
funny.
everyone started laughing because her laugh was infectious.
Katie's not here, but she reminded me of a story that
Rest
she
in
wanted me to
peace,
tell.
Katie.
The night that the guy in the audience said her line. Katie had one line, guys. Someone in the audience said it because they knew the show.
You remember
It
that?
was off to the races.
Oh,
That's right.
And Katie has that one line as flow, and like Tevan was building it up, and he's like, it'll be. And then Katie went to say off to the races, and the guy in the front row was like, off to the races. He was distraught. It's
He had
That
come
is so
before, I
funny.
remember that.
Dang it.
but yes, Katie
Like,
or
her,
Tevan.
her one line. I love it. All right. Best dancer.
Jenna.
Jenna.
Jenna. With McKay a close second.
Look at me. Look at
Okay,
how,
yeah.
Look at those lines. Okay.
it looks like you pulled something, Logan, in that picture.
I probably did.
Tevan was really good too, though. Like
Yeah.
Look at
Oh,
how
Zach.
Sam and Kay were so good. Zach was good. Oh,
Look at
Zach
those
was really
jumps.
good.
Sadie was a great dancer. We had a lot of great dancers.
Catherine was really good too.
Yeah, Catherine was really good.
So good.
All the people that were in
We're-
both sides of the coin were great
this
dancers.
person, this person was.
Those that weren't were not in it.
Oh God! Must I remind you? I was on the ground. Okay. We have one more question. Let me scroll back up. Who had the best costume?
I think everyone's a little biased for their own costume, to be honest.
I have my favorite costume.
Brian?
Yeah,
Brian?
like Cassandra. Hands down in my mind, Cassandra.
Ooh, yes.
Whatever.
I like that one.
So
I still
good.
have mine.
That was the most fun costume to put together and everything. Everybody else was like, it was cool, it was fun, but she had the most layers and like that was the
That
best.
is fun.
It had so many pieces. My headpiece, my earrings, my
Your hairpiece that like broke every single
every single performance.
You just come at the end
Ryan,
of
I'm
the
sorry. My brooch that kept breaking too. At the end of every show, I was like, these are the things that broke today.
things. Yeah. I felt really bad. I'm like, sorry, Cassandra. We're just adding layers. It's gonna be really hot, but it looks
It's
so
very hot. Are you gonna show a picture of my costume?
Yeah.
The fine one.
That's a great one.
They one of the
All
hairpiece.
the layers, dude.
Logan just wants to be in all pictures.
I don't have that.
There you go.
Yeah,
There we go.
Ooh, I like Dallin's costume too.
That was costume.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say that's probably one of my favorite costumes. I love
Emily's
the bright
costume
blue.
is so good, too.
I
I
still
gotta
have my
wear
suit.
Toms. Those are Toms down there. So that was
Yeah.
it was really comfy,
It was really good.
really nice.
I don't know what. Oh, is it this one? There it is.
Success. There is my ankle brace.
There it is.
The elusive ankle brace. There it is. We found it.
Brought to you live.
So good.
All right. That
Costumes
was,
were good, Bride. Way to go.
Yeah, good
bravo.
job.
I still have my whole costume.
It was Devin. He may talk about this later, so I really won't steal his thunder. But like Devin gave me very specific what he wanted with this show when it came to colors and things. He had this whole scheme of who should be in what color and helps the audience kind of keep track. So it was all his idea. Tevin's coat was.
Amy did so many alterations too.
Yeah, we got 50% of everything from Amazon. So Amazon was awesome. And then everything else we either rented or Kensington had. But Devin was awesome about giving direction and because it's a show with so many moving parts, helping the audience to keep track of which character is which. So it was awesome.
Shout out to Devin.
Woo!
Such a good work.
Like Bryan was saying, I think Cassandra's costume was easily the most versatile because she had so many moving pieces throughout the show. But I think if I'm remembering correctly, the one that it took forever for Bryan and I to find the right fit was Emily. We went through a couple different designs on her costume. So I think that's the one that I'm the most proud of because the end result looked so good.
Really good. We went through so many.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Because not only did she have to look good, but she had to kind of match the same style as Dallin. And I remember we got Dallin's and we liked Dallin's, and it was just like trying to find that balance. So yeah, hers looks good too. And then finding it in the color that we wanted her to be in.
I liked it. I think that was like my favorite role I've ever been in.
Woo! Okay.
Yes.
Same.
Wow. I like it. All right, that's Kensington questions. I'm going to play the music because everybody loves it. Okay, so my final question that keeps the conversation going, but is because we're doing this in crazy times. This is our connection to theater. So, what are lessons learned from the Mystery of Edwin Drood? It can be lessons learned from the show, like what morals does the show have, or it could be a lesson that you learned from the cast or from just doing the show with these people. What was a lesson that you learned? And we don't have to go in any specific order. So if you have one, you can raise your hand. Anybody? I'm looking for hands.
I think we all probably learned a lot of lessons about teamwork. Like Cassandra said, I was the only person not in the show. There were people, Bryan was our costume designer, but he was also in the show. Jenna was our choreographer, but she was also in the show. So everyone was wearing so many different hats and everyone had so much on their plate. We really helped each other out, I think. I think the show was the success that it was because it was such a team effort.
Yeah. I think going along with that, I think learning about teamwork, but also I feel like I learned a lot about trust, right? Like all of these people that were in the show with me, and I just had to trust that they were going to do their part, and I hope that they trusted me to do my part, and I just trusted that once we all did our parts that it would all come together, right? So I feel like I grew closer to everybody in the cast because I trusted everybody so much.
Yeah. Truly, this is an ensemble show. Like, there are people that have more lines or whatever, but this is such a small cast, and you can't do it without anyone, right? It is truly like one of the ensemble shows.
I feel like another thing was like getting out of like a shell or something and like trying something new, because like I was orange for like a lot. And so it was definitely like going out in public, they would like look at me, but like I was like, you know what? Whatever, bro, bring it on.
I like it. Anybody else? I'm looking for hands if you're not on stage or screen on stage.
Not on stage.
I would say for me, definitely, I know Dallin touched at the beginning about like having to improv at the beginning and go out and talk to the audience. Like that for me was really hard, but I learned a lot from that, and I actually ended up having to improv in a show that came later that year, not by choice, but Logan directed that show. But and it really helped me to learn a lot in that aspect and to be vulnerable with that and be okay with making mistakes. But also, I don't think I'd played a character with such a serious kind of backstory and like being very honest in that. And that was something that I'm a very character actor, if you noticed by how I sing. What? But having to be very real and very honest in that very emotional scene with Megan's character was really, really hard for me. And yeah, so I learned a lot from that. Why are people laughing?
Sorry, the private chat.
McKay asked.
Sorry, it's inappropriate time to laugh. I promise.
So yeah, whatever, people. So I'm talking. This is the Cassandra show. So no, yeah. So just like having to trust my director so much in that scene, and like trust myself and trust Megan, and like again back to the trust, and then like really just be open and honest with the portrayal in that like one serious moment of the show. Yeah. And then I just developed greater friendships with so many people in the show, and I treasure that. So
I think one thing I admire so much about this cast was everyone's commitment to their craft. And no matter what I asked of them when they were on stage, they committed fully, whether it was an accent they've never done, a serious moment in a show, or Logan just fully throwing yourself into the role and creating so many iconic scenes. Everyone was so committed and supportive of each other.
Yeah. I was going to say that is crucial because of like the improv, not at the beginning, but at the end of the show, and Bryan touched on this, but we had to trust each other because that end, I mean, what is it? 15 minutes of where we don't know how the show's going to end every night. We had to trust each other that whoever got picked is going to know their stuff, because if they don't, what do we do? And then two, if they were to mess it up, that's a critical point in the show that the audience would be like, that did not work. I didn't like that, right? So it was crucial for the success of the show being funny and creative by us trusting each other, saying, well, they haven't sung Dick Datchery this whole run since we haven't sung, they haven't been Dick Datchery since the previews. It's been how many shows? So I hope that they remember their lines for Dick Datchery, and then, okay, yeah, they did. Okay, we're fine. We're okay, because every time it was like this little, like, I maybe would get nervous, but then I would know, no, these people, they've got it, right? And I know that this person acts this way when they're the murderer, so I need to react to this. We all knew what they were going to do in essence, and that's a really important part about, and you don't get that with a regular show because of the other shows aren't as improv-y, right?
Yeah. Going along with that, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, no. Just going along with that, like I feel like giving a shout out to Tevan, because directing's hard. Directing the show is harder. Directing the show with people your own age is extremely difficult, but he kept us so in line and helped us form that trust, and we trusted him completely, and the blocking and the characters and things that he did were so helpful and helped us get to that point. Like there are some shows that we get to Tech Week and I'm like freaking out, and this show is not one of those because he was so organized and such a good job. So good job, Tevan. You did a great job.
It helps when you have an awesome cast.
Stop it.
Anybody else? Lessons learned from Drood. I'm looking for.
I think Dallin was going to talk because.
Yeah.
I had a thought.
Be assertive.
Yeah. Okay, I will. So.
Just speak.
If you're okay with me saying.
Part of the. Just kidding.
No, I was just going to say that the show is very
take me
interactive with the audience.
Continue.
Can interrupt me?
Assertive.
Sorry, I'm being assertive. No, I was just saying that it's really interactive with the audience. And so you have to, with a lot of the characters being characters that the audience votes for in the end, you have to, in a sense, kind of earn their vote, but you also have to balance it. like keep the performance grounded. You don't want to just be a total goof. So yeah, I think I just learned a lot about, you know, learning how to have like a grounded character, but at the same time, you know, a character that the audience would find fun to vote for. So I think that just elevated everybody's performance. It was really fun. There was a lot of energy. You know, we weren't trying to overshadow each other. We were just all really, you know, hamming up the scenes that needed to be hammed up, and just having a lot of fun. So yeah, it was a blast.
Having so much fun.
Josie.
Yes. So I want to throw some props at Tevan as well, because talking about trust, I was not in the summer review thing. I came in later because I was a Oakcrest counselor during that summer, and so I came in later. And so when I heard we were doing Edwin Drood, I literally listened to the music all day long. I listened to it all the time because I was like, they don't know me. Like, I mean, Logan's my cousin. Oh, wow. Logan's my cousin and Bryan's my brother. But then everybody else really, like, they knew me here and there, but not a ton. So I just, like, I hope I told you enough, Tevan, because this is my first ever lead, too, that I was ever, like, given a chance to have a lead and stuff. And I was so grateful for you because it changed every way of, like, that I looked at theater and, like, how I looked at myself as an actress and everything like that. Changed everything for me. And I hope I told you enough, Tevan, seriously, because I was like, Tevan is so nice. Thank you for being like, thank you for putting me in. You're so nice. But it's literally all about trust. And everybody was just so trustworthy and everything. And it was so fun. I just loved all of it. But I love you, Tevan.
I love you. You definitely deserved that role. Your hard work definitely paid off. And you came into that audition room already knowing the role. And I was flabbergasted with your audition. It was so good. So good.
I knew the last song. This is sad, you guys. When we learned that it was Mystery of Edwin Drood, I listened to the music and I heard the last song and I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember telling Logan and Bryan, and I was like, I really want to be Drood, but Tevan doesn't know me, or they don't know me, you know, and stuff. But I learned that song in like 4 days and I just kept listening to it and I was like, I feel a little over-prepared because I walked into the audition and everybody else was like, I was like, so I have the whole last song memorized? Oh, dang it. But it was so fun. I loved all of it. It was so
You did such a good job, Josie.
Thank you.
Well, should we have Josie messaged me and she's like, I want to sing. So Josie, do you want to sing?
I did say it like that. I said, hey, if you want me to.
All right. She's gonna sing Writing on the Wall. So let's let her.
Yay!
Do it.
The rousing.
That's a stand. I can't hit the notes without standing. And I may have to do it.
Oops.
Fix it.
I'm sorry.
Logan,
Take it away.
Okay, wait. I gotta explain. So, in the show, Edwin is murdered, right? In the end of Act 1, and then I have a little hissy fit. And thanks, Dylan. Wow, yay! Thanks, Cassandra. You guys are so nice. I love you all so much. But yeah, so my character actress lady has a hissy fit and she runs out. I don't remember why. But then at the end, I think she just kind of was prideful and was like, no, I want to end the show. So she comes back on as Drood, who's supposed to be murdered, and ends the show with this song and is just like, hey, suckers, I'm not dead. And that's the end of the show. Yeah, so.
Well, no, not me.
What?
Nothing, go.
Okay, good talk. Okay. But yeah, this is it. So. Oh, wait. Sorry, it's not good. Talk. I feel weird. It's not connected to my Bluetooth. I'm sorry, Logan. I'm sorry.
So, in this scene, Josie, Edwin Drood comes back and comes out of the grave, and she says, are you ready?
Oh, no, keep going.
No.
I like hearing your explanation. It was fun. Yeah.
Just BS and stuff.
Okay, sorry. Fine. Yeah, So I come on and I say, I'm alive. And then everybody's like, what the heck are you doing? But yeah, this is it. So.
Lazarus.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Live. See, look at my life. I am Lazarus, risen from the grave. Quite alive, you'll find me. This tomb behind me is where I faced my closest shave. When I struck my head against the street, I was stunned, not stricken. A plot doth thicken, as Jasper flew me off my feet toward the crypt. I awoke in dark beyond belief, and while all above me showed their grief, I was screaming from my very breath. Only moments from death, you have no idea the sudden strength that you feel within you, the steel and sinew as death stands smiling at arm's length. I escaped from closed room, I fled, and I did not return here till I could learn here just who in hell would wish me dead. But more than that, more than one solution fits the crime. What I've learned is life is bits of time, and you fight for every tiny speck. When you're held by the neck, I have read the writing on the wall. And the greatest mystery is not the history of Jasper, Drood, and one and all. I have met my maker and returned. What advice I'm giving to all who's living is just to learn what I have learned. Life is dear. There can be no victory in defeat. If outnumbered, beat a fast retreat to the nearest shelter and dig in. When you live, then you win. Strap and claw for every day you're worth. Make them drag you screaming for life. Keep dreaming you'll live forever here on earth. I have seen the writing on the wall, and it's clearly spelled out to those who've held out that holding on to life is all. Sorry. Is it clear? If you hear my voice, then you're alive. What a bloody marvel we survived. When you think of every risk we face in our mad human race, I have read the writing on the wall. Try to live forever and give up never the fight. You need the wherewithal, can't you heed the lighting as I plead, inciting you to read the writing on the wall. On the wall. That last note is really weird without you guys.
Oh! Sophie!
Yay!
I was singing backstage.
Good, I hope so. Because I
Good
was
job, bro.
practicing and I was like, this is not working.
Look who's watching. What? You got this, girl.
Do we know them?
Thanks, Tony and Sarah.
Y'all, this has been so much fun, and it is such a delight to see all. I mean, I see most of you a lot, but it is so fun to get us all back together and say, "Oh, look at Dallin getting served dinner."
Just got pizza delivery.
Spencer, come to my house next, okay? What?
You're on a live video. Welcome.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Spencer. Bye, Spencer. It has been so fun, and thanks everybody for watching. This show is so much fun, and we need to do it again. So we'll do it sometime, right? And everybody can just come back and
Yeah, next player show? Question
Yeah.
mark?
Please.
When is that?
You not have any videos of any
In our living room.
in the show?
of any what?
We don't have any videos from anything in the show.
No, I didn't have any, and I asked y'all to send me pictures and videos, and
I have a lot of rehearsal.
Josie should have sent them to me.
I'm
So
really sorry.
we'll do an after party. How about that? And
I
we'll
love
do
it.
Heck yeah.
We might be in this for a while. We'll bring Drood back on. All right, I'm gonna bring others on, but will you help me say goodbye and we'll wave everybody goodbye. Bye everybody.
Bye.
And Deborah, and bye for me.
Bye now. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Stick around on Saturday, 7
Goodbye.
p.m. We're doing Improvinator.
Yes, Improvinators. Go support.
Yay.
They're so good. So good.
Yeah.
Something